Hey friends, so I'm in the garage and I'm actually going to take you guys on a little house project today. It is incredibly hot out. For some reason, it's cool in the morning and in the evening, but in the middle of the day, it's been like the hottest I remember it ever being. So the gardens look like a mess. I have no interest in doing anything out there, especially this time of day. And so I'm just kind of leaning into other projects and thought I would take you along. So I've shared with you guys before, we're redoing our kitchen. I've got my very cute antique-ish stove, and I think we finally figured out what's wrong with this thing and how to fix it. So that's happening tomorrow. And I originally was gonna I had these barn shelves made, and I was gonna replace my kitchen cabinets with those, but I decided to just do all furniture. So I'm gonna hang those on the project we're working on today. I have found when you live small, it's really nice to make sure we use every inch of our house. And so this was one area that we were not using and it was just getting run down. And so we're bringing it back to life. These things weigh a ton. I had them designed to hold our dishes, but like I said, I'm going a different route with that. I'm actually really excited the direction we're going, and I don't want to waste them, and these are going to do amazing in the space that we're working on. I just need to oil them. This is barn wood from a local barn right down the street, so it's got wormwood holes in it, which are always cool. And the girl I found to make these for me, she just did such a beautiful job, so I'm excited to finally get these up. But I'm going to need help from the children. The seedlings are looking good. I'm about to start a whole nother batch tonight. And I do that live on my Facebook and my Instagram. So if you want to see what I'm planting for the fall, and I talk a lot about how most of these also are the things you want to grow in the house, inside when you're growing indoors. Make sure to check that out. I have that video up. Everything's coming up nicely. This time of year, I am not using a heat mat. I'm not running AC in this garage. I actually just turned it on today because it just is so hot, but I'm not consistently running AC. So I always say anytime your temperatures are above 75, don't use the heat mat. So these are not using a heat mat and they're doing great. I don't even know if you guys will be able to see me out here. It's so bright and hot. 2 of the towers are done over here. Just need to clean those out. The others, a lot of things are on their way out. There's a lot of young things too, but right now we're just like getting to the end of the season and waiting for these last things to be done producing. And then we're starting just a ton of things over in these towers. And this tower back here looks droopy in a lot of places. Sometimes your pump will get roots in it, or sometimes it just stops sucking up water. I just blast the hose through it or bang it a little bit, usually both, and it works fine. So these are perking back up. These are a bush cucumber. This is about the size you want your smaller cucumbers to be. These are a more smallish, they're just a smaller cucumber. It's put off some, I'll show you one, that are huge. But these are almost done. They're only going to put off about 20 fruit and then they are done. And so that frees up space where I can start to think about what else we're going to grow there, which is why I'm always starting seeds. Okay. This is for our project. Let me show you the other towers. Okay, here we just have a hot mess. A lot of the melons aren't going to make it. I don't think my pumpkins are going to make it. They're looking pretty rough. There are so many cucumbers. We need to get them off. I'm not going to give you a full tour, but there's all sorts of melons that may do fine. Some that aren't. The pumpkins I don't think are going to make it. It's been an amazing cucumber season, but not a super great eggplant season. I moved my eggplant to shadier spots earlier in the year because they were just so miserable in the heat, and they haven't done great there, so I need to move them back. Some of these cucumbers, I'm just trying to leave them on as long as possible because, you know, we can only eat so many cucumbers at a time. I have my snake cucumber here. We're going to deal with that tonight. These are fun. Tons of jelly melons. Something ate my cantaloupe. It was small and weird anyway. This is the cucumber off that bush variety. They're definitely not supposed to be this big. It's still fine though. It's when they turn yellow that they're a problem. All right, I got the okra. Okra will get real woody real fast, so I got to stay on top of that. And even the eggplant on the other side that are more shaded are still just looking really miserable. And that's gardening. I mean, we can definitely grow things easier using hydroponics. It just is, especially when it's hot out, because I can add cool water to the tanks and it makes the plants happier, and I'm not having to weed, and there's just so many benefits to growing this way. After 20 years of growing in the soil, I for sure will never go back. But it's still gardening. And so sometimes it's the year for cucumbers and sometimes it's the year for eggplant. And that's just how it goes with gardening. So don't always know the answers why. I certainly don't like this heat, so I understand why the eggplant don't like it. Cucumbers seem to love it though, and cucumbers aren't typically a crop you grow in real high heat. They tend to get real bitter, and I have not had that at all. The cucumbers are absolutely perfect in flavor. So who knows? We just keep doing the work. Try that thing the next year, and it doesn't work. Let's check the mushrooms. I harvested a bunch of pink and yellow oysters over the weekend. It's hot for the mushrooms. It's dry. I do not predict we're going to get anything off of this for another full week, maybe even a little bit longer when it cools down and it's not so hot and dry. It's real dry right now too. I could water this. It's wet. What I'm looking for, I don't want all of it to be dry. So what I was looking for was to see if under this first layer, which actually I'm going to protect. I had this on originally. Is it moist in here? And it is. This is super dry. These are definitely more wet. And I probably will water it later on tonight just to tend to it and make sure it's happy. Look at that food, guys. And that's nothing. That's just like I need to harvest it excess right now. These are my 2 home towers. This one's doing amazing. What's up with this? That is bone dry. The other stuff is not dry, and so this is the first time this has happened. It means it just wasn't getting enough water for this extreme sunny day, so it means it's it's like not balanced, not level. Okay, that one's getting water. When the plants are bigger and the roots are in the channel, that's not as crucial, but with little delicate plants like this, that is. That one might not actually make it. We'll see. I have some new starts. If it doesn't, all right, let's go in. It's so hot. All right, so what I'm doing today is I've got some plants. I've got this gigantic fern, and this area gets a little bit too much sun in the morning, and we can't flip this around furniture-wise. I'll show you why in a minute. So we're gonna hang this giant fern and some other plants, and then on this wall, I'm gonna put those 2 shelves decorated with plants and things, and there's our grill that's getting wired in to gas full-time on a big tank. When the stove gets put in, so I'm really excited about that because it just makes life easier when you don't have to fill tanks, and it's a good hedge of protection if there's ever some sort of power issue. We'll be able to cook still. And then back here, so here's where I've got the plants I want to hang up. This over here is our hammock. We do use that quite often. And this chair, normally that table that's by the sofa is by this chair. That was originally where I would knit. I do come out here every morning and knit. A lot of times after the gym and in the evening, just when I need a time out, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on this porch knitting when it's cooler out. It's a little warm right now, but different times of the day. When it's cooler out, that's what I'm doing. And I used to sit in this chair, but now I kind of like the sofa. But this chair needs new cushions. The cushions are completely ripped. So those went on clearance, so I grabbed those. And now we don't have a table here, so I'm gonna think about what to do about that. And we're just gonna clean this space up. Really, most of the time, that's what I'm doing. I thrift. Most of our furniture and our things come from thrifting or sales, like the TJ Maxx sales, secondhand stores. And then I just try to make everything as nice as possible with what we have and as functional as possible, because this really adds to our quality of life, especially since we do live in a really small cabin. Also, my plants, you'll notice most of them are going to be really simple philodendron type plants. I don't branch out much from that because in the winter these have to go into the house, and our house is where plants go to die because we don't have a lot of light in there. So I have to be really particular with the types of plants that I purchase. But I'm happy with the things I found. They're really pretty and they're simple. It does make it more simple to just grow simple things like philodendrons. Okay, got this part cleaned up. This camera hates this lighting. So now we're gonna hang these shelves, which are going to be a beast. And before I wait on my sons for that, let's just change these cushions out. And this is the time of year to buy your clearance outdoor furniture. It's going fast. But this month and last month starts in July. That's always when I look for things I need for outside, which is why I'm doing this porch now. late June too. That's actually when I got this sofa. It starts getting so hot that people who didn't do their porch in the spring and get their outdoor stuff in the spring have lost interest and will worry about it next year. I think it's going to take both of you guys holding it.
Still don't see that.
And me drilling. Okay. So hot out, guys. Oh my gosh. We got the shelves up. I kind of tapered them. Thought I was going to do it the other way, but I think I'll save this section for some grill stuff. Sorry, the light is just, if I don't stay right on this camera, there's no light. This one's wider because I was going to put dishes on it, and this one was supposed to be bowls. So we're just going to decorate. First, I'm going to put boiled linseed oil on this. This is barnwood. It doesn't really need a finish, but this will protect it. I use this on my teak dining table or island, whatever you want to call it, in my kitchen. It's also going to darken it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't like it with the darker, especially on the sides. It really showed up. We've got to get the house restained. Maybe I'll stain them to the house one day. I don't know. For now, I'm just going with them raw. So let's decorate a little bit. So I have this. This is a like antique floral bucket. I just thought it was really pretty. I made these a while back on the channel, terrariums. The cool thing about every one of these plant varieties, anything in the philodendron family, they propagate really easily. So even my houseplants, I've got some exotic houseplants. I'll just put them in these leftover tincture bottles when I'm done with them and let them root. So we're gonna plant some of these things out. Stick them right in. Okay, and they'll look a little spindly for a little bit, but it's a great way to save a bunch of money, have a bunch of plants, because you don't need to buy new philodendrons if you do this. Let's see, where do we want? Oh, we wanted this one here. All right, now we need to put the big fern up and just see what we're dealing with. It's gigantic, so I'm gonna have to rig this up. I also wanted a little one here. I think we'll see. I found this at a thrift store. I think it's gonna go in my bedroom on a little shelf. Isn't that cute? Candle holder. Could go here. Probably not. I'm gonna leave it there for now. So we have hummingbirds, and one came to visit the other day, and I had a hummingbird feeder, but there were animals climbing this porch to get to it, and then it broke. So I decided to get this little teeny tiny one because they don't go through much, and I just make a little sugar water for them, and this allows me to still have one but not have to worry about animals getting to it. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here. But a hummingbird, they'll talk to you, especially if you feed them, and they'll come by, and if I'm on the porch and there's not food, they literally will sit and fly right in front of your face and talk to you. It's the sweetest thing. So we're gonna feed them and make them happy. So I'm gonna hang this. And then I got this super cute, like this is totally cheesy stuff. And I'm not usually a buy the cheesy stuff kind of person. But little hummingbird swing. I couldn't resist. It stole my heart when it squawked at me the other day. So what a difference already. It feels like a living room here, which is what I was going for. This used to be my favorite porch. I sat out here from the time we bought this house, which we're going on, I think, 6 years this August. Is that even possible? Yeah, 6 years. This is the porch I sat on that chair over there with that table. I am gonna order 2 black tables and replace that one, and we'll just have 2 matching tables out here. This was the porch. And I stopped coming out here because it got so dirty and messed up when we had a dining table here, and now I feel like we're reclaiming this space. I am also painting the doors and the windows beige, but I'll do that later this week. Okay, and I don't know if you guys saw, the lighting's so bad I can't really show you, but there is a clothing line that runs across this. It's actually where I dry our clothes that can't be dried. So I'm excited to use that again because I actually stopped using that when the porch was so gross. So regaining the space, super excited. Okay, that was a lot of work for nothing because I don't like it at all. It's not right. It's way too big. Okay, those worked better, and those will be less messy. Ferns are actually really messy. All right, and here's where you come out of the kitchen. That's what's getting painted like a creamy white, this door. And I'm replacing these lights or painting them black. I don't know yet. Definitely low on the priority list. But here we go. There's the fern. I need to put that stuff away because I'm not using it. We keep this cooler out here. It's important we have that there, so that's just part of it. The grill. When we come over here, we have the new rug. Fits perfect. I think it goes with it really well. Super cozy sofa. Or that bird statue was my mom's. Just this vintage tin thing with some plants. Our first shelf. We've got some new plants. These are going to look leggy for a little bit, but they'll fill in nicely. Up towards the top, I put some gourds up there that I had and hung these 2 plants here. It's hard to see with the background. And those are nice because those don't shed. So actually I'm really happy about that working out. Over here we have our teeny tiny hummingbird feeder and our hummingbird swing. Those are some wind chimes we've had for years. So beautiful when it's windy. It's actually going to rain. Or it looks like it's gonna rain, we'll see. And then on this side, for now we have the fern. I'm gonna do the bar top table and stools like I mentioned. Probably do a different hammock at some point. I'd like to get a really nice beige one. We'll paint the trim of this window, but this side is what it's always been. Just our hammock spot. My mother-in-law found this wrought iron candle holder. Gave it to me a couple of years ago, and I wasn't even sure if I could find a place to use it, but I put it up here and put remote control battery candles in it. And you can put them on a timer. You can tell them to be candles and they like flicker. I just put it on that setting. And they're really nice. They really make it cozy out here at night.